What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Jay. I'm with the Blklist, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Miss Cassandra McGlothin, who runs Raaise Staffing Solutions. How are you doing today, Cassandra?
I'm doing good, Jay. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Now, I found you because you shared a press release we did about 6 zeros. You were putting out the word about black businesses, so I'm like, okay,
Yes.
that's awesome. She's real about this. This is not something she's just playing around with. She's really sharing the word about what black people are doing out here, and I thought that was amazing. So, Lucius, I did some researching, and I found out that you started Raise after being laid off during the pandemic. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is correct. Yes. I started Raaise Staffing in December of 2020. I actually had a background in recruitment and staffing for about 6 years. I worked with startups, I worked with agencies, I worked with corporate entities, and pretty much throughout my journey in employment with these big companies, some big, some small, I noticed a lot of discrepancies in the hiring process, especially when it came to candidates of color, with the emphasis on Black professionals. And, after many years of kind of working behind the scenes and to some degree having to partake in these injustices, I was sick of it. And with my last company, I saw the opportunity pretty much come to light. I saw a market that wasn't being tapped into. I saw a population that, of underserved people like myself who really needed a voice and a space to grow. So that's how Raaise came into permission.
That's awesome. So you saw a market that was untapped. Was that IT and having black candidates within IT?
Yes. So my spiel that I always tell people is, according to the EEOC, 68% of high tech is white, 14% is Asian, 8% is Hispanic, 7.4% is Black, and the remaining is other. And of the 7.4% that's Black, only 6% hold leadership positions. I myself have worked in IT staffing for about 3 years now, and I can say firsthand, I don't come across as many Black IT professionals as I would like. And when I do come across such unicorns as myself, we're on the market. People want us. People want to engage with us. People want to bring us on their team. They want to hear our insight. They want to hear our thoughts and our opinions, and they want to grow with us. But often we're not able to really get access to those spaces to get in those positions of power. So I pretty much use my connections, my know about the industry, my networking, and just really my passion to help the Black community thrive and build this organization. And I do specifically go into IT professionals.
A lot of these tech companies, they say we don't have enough qualified black candidates. They always say that we don't have enough. If we had more qualified black candidates, we would have more black candidates in these positions. Do you think it's a supply issue in that we don't have enough of us qualified for these roles? Or do you think racial bias plays a part in that they see the black candidate and for some reason they think the black candidate is not prepared or ready for the role? And then if that is the case, what does your organization do to make sure that the black candidates are prepared?
Wow, that is a mouthful of questions, Jay. You got me there. But I would say, in all seriousness, it's a combination of both. In terms of the market, well, I'll go initially from the company side. I've had specific clients tell me exactly what they want in an employee, picture and all, and it has not looked like people like you and I. There's companies that are being very bold and very honest that they have a representation to uphold, and that's how they go. Then there's other companies that are more on the rise of DEI initiatives and programs to really bring in more diverse candidates. So they do actively search for Black candidates. But I feel like the root cause of it is really the exposure. We're not always brought into those rooms where we have access to those high-level executives and positions and places of power. And with Raaise Staffing Solutions, I try to bring my connections from previous employees in the retail industry the financial industry, the real estate industry, as well as the tech industry into, some big clients that I've worked with. I would say, for example, one of my biggest clients in my former employer was the only minority-owned IT staffing agency in Virginia. And they specifically worked with government officials. So people with clearances, people who were dealing with, hackers and bombs and all that fun stuff. So the market is definitely there. And what Raaise does is I take my connections from the industry, as well as going into specialized educational programs, partnering up with organizations that also specifically help Black and brown people find jobs in the IT industry. For example, one of the organizations that I work with is Tech Elevator. And what they do is they specially help people who are transitioning into the IT field, or people who left the industry and want to come back, find jobs. And they specifically work with Black and brown candidates. So that's one of the big networks that I'm tapped into, as well as constant conferences with the NAACP, as well as the National Urban League, to keep myself in the loop of where Black talent is, and taking those candidates and those people and bringing them for the forefront to my clients.
When you use the term like Black and brown, but then you say you specialize in Black candidates, what is the overall goal? Is it to help Black people, or is it to help all minorities? Because the Black people, the Black community is starting to ask those questions, because they're like, hey, if we're going to help these other groups that are competing against us and they're not helping us,
right,
are we helping defeat our own selves? So what do you say to that? Is it about Black and brown, or is it about minority coalitions, or is it about helping Black people?
So what I would say in terms of Raaise Staffing Solutions, we are here with a focus on the Black community. We are here to help Black IT professionals find jobs, find work, and being more inclusive and diverse in communities as well as spaces. I think in total, the Black and brown coalition or initiative that is kind of portrayed to us has a sense of falsehood to it. I honestly feel this is a personal feeling, and some of the correlation to Raaise Staffing Solutions. My personal feelings in regards to this is, when there are initiatives and there are programs and there are things giving out to Black and brown people, Black side of it tends to get the trickle down effect. We tend to just get the crumbs, and everyone else benefits from the actual bread. And I myself started this because I was sick of seeing that. I say with my organization, we are here to help all minorities of color find jobs, find work, and empower themselves and better themselves. But we put a focus on the Black community.
Okay, understood. I'm gonna go to some organizational questions now. With starting this venture, what was your biggest challenges in starting it, and now that you're in the operations phase, what are your challenges now?
I would say initially starting it was really getting the word out there and cornering my market, as well as cornering my demographic. And I faced challenges that I didn't think I would actually have to battle so early into my company. For prime example, my website itself is generated through Google. And on numerous occasions, my website has been shut down for no particular reason, other than, I'm putting out a message that I'm specifically helping Black people. And what I tend to notice is when things are more broad, like in terms of people of color, diversity, it tends to be a little bit more palatable. But when you're a little bit more forefront and you're a little bit more strong in your addictions, and you outwardly have a message and a group that you're targeting, especially when that group looks like us, it's a little bit more abrasive and people are a little bit stand backish. So I did run into some issues with people wanting to change the initiative of my company, changing the direction of my company, changing the target market. And, it took a lot of strength and a lot of ownership to just be proud and loud about who I am and what my message is and what my company is about. In terms of operational things, I am not a social media expert. I will tell you that from the forefront. I am a person. I'm an experienced person. Online is something that I'm learning. So I would definitely look for any help or support in that area. I'm actually looking for an assistant. Someone to really come in and kind of help out with the smaller, minute details so I can put the focus back on the clients, as well as getting more Black seats, getting more Black people in those seats.
One of the biggest challenges when depending on your budget, it's like sometimes you have to handle the minutia. But then as
Right.
you grow, the minutia grows, and you're like, hold on, I don't have the budget quite yet to get this person. So that's one of the organizational things that are challenging. I want with the Blklist, I want Black people to understand like these challenges when you're running a business. You gotta know when you need to work in the business and when you need to work on the business. And as business leaders, we have to focus on working on the business as opposed to the nitty gritty
Right.
little minute details. We got to grow and get more opportunities.
Right.
So last question. I wanted to know what's some advice that. Well, it's actually two questions. I'm not gonna
Okay.
say one and hit you with two. But, what is some advice that you have to black individuals looking to get into IT? And that's such a vast word. There's programming, there's cybersecurity,
Right. I
there's
was just about to get
networking.
into all that.
Yeah. So, what's your advice to candidates that are looking to get, or just I'm gonna say black individuals looking to get into some type of IT? What do they need to do?
So I would say first and foremost is the easiest transition to get into the IT field is take whatever your skill set is now and you kind of want to compare that to an entry level IT role that would be most similar to it. Um, Prime example, if you're someone who comes from the retail industry, you've been a manager, you've been a supervisor. Some level of entry level role you may want to be looking into is data entry because it's going to be very similar to what you did in your management role. And kind of identifying it is the first step. Then what you want to go from there is getting your certifications, getting your education. I myself, I went to school, I had my degree, I love it, but you couldn't pay me to go back. So I am here for all those who just want to be one and done. Certifications is all you need. That is primarily the thing that a lot of employers look for. Does this person have a concentrated focus in this area? Can they help us get that problem solved? Because a lot of IT companies, they look for specific tools, and as well as I would say, in addition to tools that they look for people to have a specialize in, as well as infrastructure, as well as areas IT, and they may just want to bring you in for a specific project. And another great way is don't rule out contract positions. Honestly, that's the easiest way to get into any industry. Take a chance because with a contract position, it's low risk. Employers are more than willing to take a chance on you because they're not paying you benefits. They're only really paying you salary. They can let you go at any time. So a great way to transition is look into contract jobs once you do identify kind of that entry level role you want to get into. And I would say, in some addition, I wanted to say back into the operations part of the business is, and as well as with job searching, is be organized. Get your stuff together, have a schedule, be productive, plan things out, write things down, plan it out, and actually do it. Believe me, you will see results that you can never imagine.
I like that all the points, but the last point is really important. It's about look, just take control of your life. Be the general of your life and say this is where I want to be. Map it out and then figure out like if you have your overall goal, figure out the milestones you need to get to that goal. We have to start taking command and control over our lives and our destinies, and part of that is just sitting there and being organized.
Exactly, and that's what I'm learning and navigating through this kind of new world of entrepreneurship. Because I myself, I've worked since I was 14, so I don't know anything but a job. So me starting this company was very unreal. It was, I hadn't seen anyone in my life do it before, so I'm new learning all this. And I say all this to say that anyone can do this. Whether you want to change jobs, whether you want to change industries, whether you want to change careers, you can do it. Plan it out. Planning is the biggest thing. I have a huge calendar. I plan my year out quarterly, and you know what? You see the results. And the biggest piece of advice I can tell people, especially Black people in the job search industry, is it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. Apply, apply, apply. Go to networking events, go to open interviews, talk to recruiters, reach into your personal network, your school, your job, your friends, your family, as well as seek extra, curriculum activities to grow your network. Go to classes on Udemy, free, cheap certifications. Go to Eventbrite. You can take 1 hour, 2 hour seminars and learn negotiation skills, learn interview skills. There's so many resources you can do out there to better yourself, because the demand is out there. One of my companies now is literally a international financial company, and I never thought I would work with this brand. And they're growing rapidly, and they're looking for people like us to bring into the team. So the demand is out there, the work is out there, companies are changing. Let's get on it.
I appreciate you for taking the time to interview with 6 Zeros in the Blklist. And to all my Black people out there, listen to what Cassandra McGlothin told you. She said, get out there and get it. Be hungry, be driven. There's resources out there. Whether you want to make a company or you want to work for someone else's company, stay focused, plan, and then execute. And with that, Cassandra, you've been blacklisted.